We then had a preliminary meeting on the 19th of December 2012 where we looked at the arguments for retaining Milngavie Primary School as against merging with Clover Primary School in a balanced way. So looking at it with regard to in favour of retaining Milngavie Primary School, arguments were put forward by the group of that meeting that Milngavie Primary School seems to be an optimum size. In the book Small is Beautiful by Schumacher, it's quite clear that a size in which everybody's name is known is essential. A larger school, everybody's name is not known and discipline is lost because of it, because they are no longer individuals. They lose their identities. And so the act of having to learn a big school for a headmaster or headmistress is an extremely difficult task. It can be done, but it's difficult. As far as the location is concerned, the advantage is the integration with the village and the children walk to school, and through which they get exercise, which is an important part, a very important part, because a lot of exercise is taken by the distances that the children are walking to school, whereas they wouldn't get that through travelling by access by road, or if they're bused, or if they drive. From the historical point of view was raised, there are links to the community which I've outlined, and those links are likely to be lost in the Clover site. The building, well, this design is fantastic because it has a central atrium and everybody meets everybody all the time. And so that, whereas a long thin corridor is a poor design. And open plan schools are an absolute disaster from my point of view as a consultant paediatric ophthalmologist, because I put that in. Because when you oversaturate with distraction, learning is diminished. And that is universally known by teachers. And it is an absolute bar to open plan schools. And that's one of my hobby horses. I apologise again. But it's a professional one, not a personal one. Especially for a very large number of children who have mild mental deficiencies which preclude them from learning when there is distraction. Next, thank you. Other issues, Milngavie is a village centre, preserves the pedestrianised centre and the integration of community life, and has health and environmental benefits from a pedestrianised access. But from the merging with the Clover site, a major issue which has been brought to our attention is the loss of trade, the collapse of services, the loss of business rates which would come, of course, if shops were to close, and the loss of the heart of Milngavie, because the profit margins, we understand, are actually possibly maintained by the large number of people actually using this on a day-to-day basis at the beginning and the end of the school day, which they won't do when driving elsewhere, and in their car they can nip off to Tesco. And this Tesco issue, when it gets bigger, along with Waitrose, is actually a dead hand on the centre of Milngavie, which most people would like to retain. And another major issue is the potential for planning blight affecting this school now, because should we be buying stuff for the playground if the school is going to close? Yes, but because our children need it. But it's an issue which has been raised. And the substantial benefits from exercise. But looking at it the other way around, and of course we do need to look at it the other way around. This school does need upgrading. It does need attention, and it lacks, for example, changing rooms. We don't know what other issues it doesn't fulfil with respect to the curriculum for excellence. We'd like to know that. Because can't we fulfil that? A new school would possibly have better facilities. But what if it is open plan? And then the requirement to meet the curriculum for excellence. What do we need to do here? It doesn't fulfil all the requirements. The playing field, for example, is limited. But when you look at the actual overall footprint of this, the road opposite, the car park and the fields, the football pitch, etc., that is very, very similar to Clover School in total. So it doesn't mean that a redevelopment couldn't take place here, despite the potential for cost, and of course for the potential for the temporary housing of children elsewhere if that were to take place.